Hey guys, welcome to a new video with Omar Dizer. It's not hard lately to see that Huawei is becoming a strong player in the phone market, and they make really great phones. And this is my review of the latest flagship, the Huawei P9. If you first look at the design, you will find that the phone is all metal, and it's really well made. There is a thin chamfer all around the back, which gives the phone a premium look. The P9 is also so thin, it's only 7mm, which makes it thinner than the iPhone 6s, and definitely the iPhone 6s Plus. The phone comes with a mid-sized 5.2-inch screen, and it's covered with Gorilla Glass 4, and it comes with very thin bezels. And the combo between the not so large screen and the very small thickness makes the phone very comfortable to hold and easy to use with one hand. All the buttons on the P9 are on the right side and are considered strong and clicky. The power button has a texture to easily be identified without looking. On the left side there is the SIM tray, which gives you the choice between using 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card with an SD card, which is always a nice option. Now let's talk about that screen. It's a 5.2-inch IPS LCD screen with a resolution of 1920 by 1080, which makes it only Full HD. And while I wanted and expected the screen to be Quad HD like most of the flagships this year, but the screen is actually great, with vibrant colors and strong contrast. The brightness is also very good, and it's easy to use the phone in direct sunlight. Overall, this is one of the best LCD screens around. Now after talking about the screen, let's talk about the audio. The P9 comes with one speaker on the bottom, and it's mono, not stereo. But it sounds good, and you can crank up the volume without much distortion in the sound. But the problem with the speaker's location is that it can be covered easily with your hand while playing games or watching videos, and you have to take care to not muffle the sound with your hand. Huawei is now famous for their very fast and accurate fingerprint sensors, and the P9 doesn't disappoint. The sensor is on the back of the phone, and it's very fast. You just have to slightly touch it and it will instantly unlock the phone from the first time and every time. Now as for the internal specs, the P9 comes with a Kirin 955 processor, and it is paired with either 3 or 4 GB of RAM, depending on your internal storage, 32 or 64 GB. The unit I have here is the 3 GB RAM version, and actually the performance is great. There is no lag or stuttering at all, and everything is smooth. Opening, closing and switching between apps is fluid, and however I used the phone, the performance was always great. The graphics performance in games is also very good, and I did not face any problems with any game I tried. The phone will get a little warm after a long period of use, but nothing out of the normal. So if you're considering the phone but cannot decide between the 3 or 4 GB RAM versions, I think the 3 GB version will be more than enough. And before I tell you about the battery, let's talk about the software. The P9 comes with Android 6 Marshmallow with Huawei's Emotion UI, and it looks very different than stock Android. I think it looks a bit more like iOS. All the icons are the same shape, and there is no app drawer. All the apps will be on home screens or inside folders. And while this is a matter of personal taste, I don't prefer it myself, and personally would prefer the stock look of Android. But there are still some great and useful additions on the Emotion UI, like the ability to change the order of the navigation buttons if you like. Or you can take a screenshot by tapping on the screen with your knuckle, and you can mark a specific part of the screen as well. You can also change the color temperature of the screen if you prefer. But the most useful option in the Emotion UI in my opinion is the extra capabilities of the fingerprint sensor. If you swipe your finger to the left or right on the sensor, you can move between the photos in the gallery. And by swiping up and down, you can open and close the notification tray. I think this is a great use of the fingerprint sensor, and I hope we can see this option from the other companies. Now as for the battery, although the P9 is so thin, it comes with a respectful 3000 mAh battery, and its performance with me was very good. You can easily get through a full day of use, and the screen on time can exceed 4 hours. And of course the standby time is also great with Android Doze. The battery is charged through the USB-C port, and the phone supports quick charging. But unfortunately the included charger does not support this option, and you have to use a quick charger from Huawei like the one from the P9 Plus or even the Mate 8 to use this feature. The battery will be charged fully in a bit above 2 hours, and I think Huawei should have included the quick charger inside the box. Now let's talk about what really makes the P9 different, and that's the camera. This year Huawei made a partnership with the famous Leica, and the result is that the phone comes with 2 cameras on the back. Both of them are 12 megapixels with an aperture of f2.2, but one of them shoots in RGB and the other one is only monochrome. And the idea here is to increase the sensitivity of the light. because the monochrome sensor can get 200% more light than the normal sensor. The camera is also equipped with laser autofocus, and there is a specific chip inside the phone to measure the depth in photos. And the result is great photos. Colors are very good, and the focus is always accurate. The dynamic range is also pretty good without overexposure or crushed shadows. And in good lighting conditions, it is very easy to get great photos every time. And when the lighting gets a bit poor, you will notice some noise in the photos, but the results are still considered very good. The camera software is simple, and the camera app is easy to use. If you swipe from the left, you will reach the multiple modes for shooting. You will find options like light painting, which will manipulate the camera shutter to get some cool light effects. You can also take a picture and change the focus afterwards, and the software will give you an option to mimic the changing of the aperture. And the results are actually pretty good. But my favorite mode by far is shooting monochrome, because it only uses the monochrome sensor and it gets some amazing pictures, and much better than using a black and white filter on an originally colored picture. There is also a manual mode in the camera, so you can control stuff like the ISO and the shutter speed. But what I didn't like about the camera is the video performance, and that's mainly because of two reasons. First, it only shoots Full HD, so there is no 4K, which is an option on almost all phones now, even budget phones. And secondly, there is no optical image stabilization, and this will clearly show in the video. If there is some wind or you are recording while moving, you will see a noticeable shake in the video. So if you care about video performance, you have to put that in mind. But again, it's a great camera for still shots. And I must give credit to Huawei for having no camera bump at all, which is rare to see these days. And lastly, the front-facing camera. It's an 8 megapixel shooter with an aperture of f2.4. And it's a bit wide, and it takes some very good selfies with good colors, and the dynamic range is also very good. And that's everything about the P9. So let's wrap this up. The P9 is a great phone all around, and what I liked most about it is nice metal design, great performance, amazing camera in photos, fast fingerprint sensor with great extras, the choice between using 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card with an SD card. What I didn't like much about the P9 is the Emotion UI is so different than stock Android. Camera performance in video is not that good with no 4K or optical image stabilization. The quick charger is not included inside the box. This review was done in collaboration with Absolute Geeks website, where you can find all the latest news and reviews for gadgets, games, movies, and even cars. You will find the link for the website in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos in the future. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.